For a couple of quick questions. Have you paid for your printer? Did your printer pay for itself?
Yes.
Okay, yes was the answer. About how long would you estimate, just give us an estimate, from the time you spent the money to the time you felt like, yes, I got my money back?
That one's hard to say because I still keep it. I mean, have I made the profit to do it? Yeah, absolutely. But I keep buying I keep buying other toys and whatever. I would say probably 2 years, but I would say realistically that's only because for the first year I didn't have any customers. I mean, not that I didn't have any customers, but I went backwards. I bought the machine and then I'm like, all right, we'll figure out who to sell these shirts to. So the first year was more of, okay, well, let's build the apparel business. And it was much slower then, and now it's just, now that you have that basis set up. So I would say probably a year easily, but I think anybody that is already in the apparel world that has the established customer base and wants to add this to their toolkit, not even. Maybe 6. I mean, if you've got an established business and you're just adding this to the toolkit 6 months. So, with DTG, there's plenty of money to be made in this. And I'm just going to go on a tangent here for a minute. But, the biggest thing that I say is, oh, the white ink's so expensive. Yeah, it is. Every time I, fork out $434 for 2 things of white ink, it's expensive. But what are you going to make on that? The one thing that I've always said is I'm not a huge fan of the race to the bottom. And by race to the bottom, I'm like, well, I'm not selling $12 shirts. If you're going to sell $12 shirts, you're not going to make that profit. Sell the $25 shirts. Have the quality and consistency and offer a good product where you can charge $25. Sometimes I charge more than that. It depends upon what I'm doing. But we're not going to sell $12 shirts. No, not at all. No. I mean, if you're printing all white shirts and you're printing the left chest, okay, maybe. But even then, that's way too much work because you got to move so much volume. And let's face it, I'd rather work less and make more money. I think we all would.
Dan, that's okay. You go on a tangent anytime, and especially when they're good as that. Okay, well, that was, by the way, Kim giving us the eye over there about the price you were printing. All right. I want to circle back to something you said because I believe in this as well. And I don't know if this is the right term. This is the term I use and I like it. I call it moment merch. Merch from the moment. Merch that's in the moment. It's not a trend of color or a trend of the kind of design. It's more about what's at top of mind. Like if the 49ers are going to the playoffs, it's going to be a big run. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be something you're going to work on. If a particular political person is in a funny way fumbled, we're gonna gently make fun of that. There's going to be a need. If there's an epic, hilarious, just like you said, social media meme, something that everybody's building on, you're gonna create kind of your version of that, though, right? Yeah, and I love that. So that moment merch, if you were to like stack up all of your orders, what percentage of your business is business to business, traditional painter, plumber, electrician, the donut guy, the city of Phoenix, whoever your customer is? What is your kind of mix? Give it a guess. Business to business versus the moment merch.
It really depends upon the time of year, but right now, just because I've been doing much larger commercial rooms, I guess you could say, it's probably 75, 25 to 25% is the moment merch. But here's the deal with the moment merch. You can get more money out of it. Because as far as profitability goes, because when you're doing that, 100, 150 shirt run for, the plumber, the set or whatever, I'm not one of those people that, if you order 150, you're going to get $10 off. No, I still price my product accordingly, but there's a little bit more breaks there. Whereas when you're doing the moment merch or any type of that, everything it's full price across the board. And I think there's more profitability in there. Now, what I need to stop doing is doing these big, elaborate designs that take a lot of ink. And yeah, it's kind of like the bane of being a designer. You're like, wow, this looks really cool, and then you go to print it, and you're like, it's like an $8 print. 16 by 20. So 16 by 20. I've got a for our 49ers club that we do. I have one that's got this huge collage of players, and this thing's massive, absolutely massive. The donut shop one, that one was huge, and that was a huge ink dump because it was that was solid color, but that one was 16 by 20. I shouldn't say we're not printing 16 inches wide, but like the player collage, you have some coming out to the side, but like the donut one was the donut one I think was almost a full print on all sizes because it was only like 10 inches wide. It almost looked like a big bookmark because it was a award they won. But even on the smaller shirts, obviously I size to the shirt, but even on the smaller shirts, the design is just long. So I still have to print it long. And yeah, so, but yeah, I really need to stop making big, colorful, elaborate designs. It's cutting into profitability.
Oh, that's a great answer. All right. Well, Dan, thank you so much for the time that you spent. I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing some of your wisdom, some of your insights. I am a proud recipient of some fun shirts that Dan has printed. And every time I walk over to your shop, I'm like, ooh, yeah, I want that one. That's hilarious. But we've learned some great lessons here today in terms of let's just wrap this up. Is there anything else you'd like people to know? If anybody else wants to get in touch with you, please share your contact info as well. But also, like any last parting words of wisdom?
Yeah, I think we kind of touched on it before, but you can absolutely make money with these machines. I see so many that go up for sale, or people are like, I'm not making any money. And take the time, learn your machine, learn the process. I guarantee you that they can produce. And I've had multiple people like it can't produce. I'm like, send me the file. So, and I've done it, and they're like, well, what did you do differently than I did? And I'll walk them through the process. And it takes time. You're not going to wake up, you're not going to buy your machine, wake up after your first day of training, pre-treat a shirt, go to print it, and it's going to be the greatest thing you've ever seen. You got to work at it. But stick with it. And I have people reach out randomly to ask me questions and stuff like that. And that's my biggest thing, especially the new people. Stick with it.
Thank you for the candy
bar. The machine
bar.
can produce. You just have to get there. And it will make you money. There's no question about that.